Let's talk about decoding human emotion. This is Monet Analytics. There's a scale where Monet can evaluate somebody in real time in their video content and be able to determine exactly what the audience is feeling when they watch that content. Essentially, I can watch you watch content. You can imagine this is for predicting if a movie's gonna do well. You can look at content creation. It's really powerful for focus groups, right? It would fundamentally change primary research. If you start thinking about primary research, qualitative interviews for the research industry, for PhD students and faculty, and you start thinking about interviewing somebody, to be able to detect not deception, but rather their emotional roller coaster, you can start to predict what's going to happen. And there's huge implications to that. The research industry really hasn't been unearthed in a long time. But we ran this on political candidates. We can watch their speeches and see how audiences are reacting. We can also see how the speaker is reacting, what emotions they're experiencing. So you could essentially take persuadables and determine how they're feeling about a given speech and a given issue at any given moment in time, because you can read the nonverbal cues on their face. This is decoding human emotion. And you could figure out what issues matter. And I'm picking deliberately a presidential election because you could figure out if something matters to people or not. You know, maybe we don't want to talk about immigration, but it turns out that's an emotional hot button based on how audiences in given states might react to that issue. And so maybe you need to talk about it, or maybe your position is not reflective of the general constituency you're going after. It's a really powerful tool. This is called Monet Analytics, using deep learning and AI to predict and to evaluate and decode human emotion. If this could be done in large scale, I mean, the implications are profound and pretty scary. We've kind of fundamentally changed everything we do. Imagine being on a Zoom call and there's like an emotional reaction, reading your nonverbal cues, facial expressions, everything you're doing. You can't control that. You could try to look sad, but maybe it says you're happy or vice versa. There are times when you might want to hide your emotion and you can't. You're in an interview and you're being evaluated for something. You're in a performance review, you're being evaluated for something. And you're thanking the interviewer for doing a great job when you think the interview was terrible and they asked you dumb questions. Or vice versa at a performance review. You can think about if these types of augmenting technologies are decoding human emotion, the use cases can get really scary. So we talk about AI and Skynet and things like that, but just the mundane, regular use cases can have real implications for our behavior. And we need to think about the abuse of these types of technologies. This is one where I think it can be abused, and we're really careful to make sure the use cases are very constrained in what we're offering to prospective customers.